What's up, Major Boy Marcel P. Black? I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Had like a little mini, tour run, just vacation situation. So, it's good to be back. I apologize for not, you know what I'm saying, the terrible promotional lecture of last week's podcast, which was Black Dogs Radio episode number 4, you know what I'm saying, in which I discussed the importance of reputation, relationships, and resume. Hopefully I said that right. I don't know if I said it in the right order. You know what I'm saying? Really, really good information. The good thing about, you know what I'm saying, all of this, that is all still online at marcelpblack.com, at Maroon Music 1 on YouTube, and mixcloud.com/Black Thoughts Radio. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely going to check that out. And I'm going to be posting and putting the graphic up a little bit more. But, I didn't want to take no time, man. Let's keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, so I was blessed to go out to San Francisco to the Bay Area last week. I dropped the pod on Tuesday, and I slid out. You know what I'm saying, on on Wednesday morning, I went to San Francisco, and I was out there for, 4 days, and I got a whole lot of good stuff. Before I go, try to straighten my head up. There we go. I'm rocking Free Breakfast Apparel, Black Panthers hat. You see Free Breakfast Apparel. You know what I mean? Everything is backwards on the video. Yeah, Free Breakfast Apparel, black-owned company, you know what I'm saying, owned by my man Hannibal, you feel me? And the shirt is by my mentor, my OGs, Cesar Comanche of the Justice League, you know what I'm saying? It says Boom Bap Analog Champions. Let me pull this down. Boom Bap Analog Champions, or Analog Boom Bap Champion. You know what I'm saying? There's a new shirt he got out. I just got it in the mail, so I want to rock it for the pod. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all go to Free Breakfast Apparel on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just go hit up Cesar Comanche, CESAR Comanche, as in like, Comanche, the native people or whatever. And, you know what I'm saying, they'll tell you what to do to get you a shirt or whatever. Get the hat straight. All right. But y'all's out there in San Francisco, man. Shout out to Big Sis, man. Backseat Brianna with Backseat Productions. I met her through my man Jay Lately, who ended up being the man who ended up booking the tour for Locksmith, and just networking, relationships, resume, all that other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? It got back to Brianna. Excuse me. It's late at night. Everybody sleeps. Yeah, excuse me. It got back to Brianna that I do really, really good music, and I'm a good performer, and I do really good business. So she had a weekend where she was bringing a lot of her friends and connections out to the Bay Area to do a couple shows, and she invited me to come with them. You know what I'm saying? I went out to the Bay Area, first time I ever went to San Francisco. Now, I went to Oakland last summer, but I had never been to San Francisco before, and I had a really, really, really good time. And a lot of good things coming out of that. Moving forward, you're going to see a lot of things in my career take off, possibly, that came from this past week. I was able to hop on 2 tour dates with Clear Soul Forces out of Detroit. Much love from the brothers. We really, really hit it off. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chris and the whole team with Clear Soul Forces. They had really good shows, man. Santa Cruz was live, but, man, San Francisco was everything that I've dreamed of as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me finally operating at the level that I need to be, so I've been doing like a lot of the Chitlin Circuit shows, and which I don't knock, which I'm about to go do more, you know what I'm saying? But 2019 is the year of matriculation onto bigger and better things, and from what I've seen in Tulsa, what I've seen in San Francisco, it's gonna be a lot of dope stuff this year, so I'm really, really excited about that. So speaking of traveling and being on the road, man, I'm constantly, people see me traveling, and I'm such an everyday dude. I'm not flashy like my brother Alfred Banks. I'm not no superstar, you know what I'm saying? I'm not signed like my partner Silas is. I'm really an average everyday dude. I drive a Rap Dad minivan, and I pick my kids up and drop them off at school, and I work, and I go to the gym, and I try to watch my blood sugar, you know what I'm saying? But I travel a lot, and I do everything myself as a touring artist, you know what I'm saying? I still find a way to balance work, family, and my music passions. And I'm always on the road. I don't never, I'll pull up locally if I'm in town to a hip-hop show, you know what I'm saying? I'll pull up to a show. But for the most part, I'm always on the road, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm not there, either I don't want to hear everybody rapping over vocals locally, or so I'm in the sky, or I'm on the highway somewhere. But, I travel a lot, and I travel pretty far. And I think because of the way I carry myself, like an average everyday dude, a lot of artists start asking me, like, how do you do it? You know what I'm saying? And I think that I'm going to give them a simple answer. But little do they know, I've been at this for a long, long time. and it took a lot of stuff to build up here. And there's not one thing I can tell any artist to do. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna make them pop off and be able to start touring and going traveling the country with just one sentence, man. It takes a little while to put in the work. So I want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, some of the things that up and coming artists need to do, you know what I'm saying, in order to start hitting the road. Before you hit the road, while you hitting the road, and this is gonna be probably like a part 2 to this, maybe a part 3, because there's a lot going to it. But let's talk about like hitting the road and how you kind of get that process started. So number one, you gotta build the buzz locally. Now I know y'all probably looking at me like, oh, here we go. He don't want to give up the game. I'm totally giving you the game. I talked about building a fan base. You know what I'm saying? Earlier, that was the second podcast I did. You know what I'm saying? No, third podcast, whatever it was. Yeah, third podcast was about building a fan base. You know what I'm saying? I talked about the importance of the 3 R's. You know what I'm saying? Relationships, reputation, and resume. This is where it begins. Because let me tell you something. I don't care how many good shows, you know what I'm saying, you might have a really, really good set. It might be in front of a good crowd. Maybe one of the best rappers in Baton Rouge or wherever you live at. You know what I'm saying? Mobile or Pensacola or Jackson or wherever you live at. You might be the best rapper in the city, whatever. But you have to build a fan base at home first. And I don't want to hear that, you know what I'm saying, oh, ain't nobody sleeping on me here. Look, if I'm a transplant coming from Oklahoma, moving to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, you know what I'm saying, not knowing anybody, you know what I'm saying, I could build a buzz with no label, no management, no booking agent, nothing, you know what I'm saying, no PR, no admin, by myself, you know what I'm saying. I can make conscious rap in Jig City from Oklahoma. You can build a buzz locally. You just, you know what I'm saying, it takes work. And I think a lot of rappers, that's what they're afraid of. You know, a lot of rappers, they feel like if it's not convenient, it's too hard. You know what I'm saying? If it's not easy, it's too hard. All of this stuff takes work, but you got to build a buzz locally. If I can build a buzz in my hometown where I live at, you know what I'm saying? Well, my second hometown where I moved to, which has adopted me over the last 17 years. I have 0 family here. I ain't got a cousin. I ain't got a brother. I'm my only child anyways. I didn't graduate from high school here. I ain't got an elementary school, middle school I went to. I ain't got a nan or a pa-ran. I ain't got no uncles. I ain't got no family or relatives in this city. You know what I'm saying? Even the niggas who I went to college with, they all moved away because I've been there. They all moved away when they left. So anybody who I grew up with is not here. So I don't have a built-in fan base. You know what I'm saying? So if you're from that place locally, you know what I'm saying, first and foremost, you got to reach within your family to get them to support you, whatever. So there's no reason why you're not able to build your buzz. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand, you know, but I'm going to touch on a couple of different things in which you can build your buzz, you know what I'm saying, that you can kind of use to permeate, you know what I'm saying, outside of your city and maybe start getting booked, you know what I'm saying, get on the road. Live shows, performances. This goes back to the very first podcast, the benefit of doing free shows. When you first start out, you're not going to get paid. You're not. So every single situation you do, you got to freak it to make sure you can get you some money somehow. But most importantly, the opportunity. Now, I'm not one of the people who try to sell exposure because exposure is bullshit to me. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get exposure. Opportunity is something completely different. You have opportunity to put yourself in front of this crowd, you understand what I'm saying, and create fans out of them situations. Because being exposed don't create nothing. The work you do, you know what I'm saying? So if you have opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to rock, open with a bigger name, or maybe get on an event that's pretty exclusive, or, you know what I'm saying, or that you know is a good networking opportunity, you need to go be at that event, you know what I'm saying, as a performer. Baton Rouge right now has more shows, you know what I'm saying, many of them put on by artists, you know what I'm saying, but around the city than it's ever been. So you should be able to do at least 3 or 4 shows a month, you know what I'm saying, and it's imperative that you do these shows and you get out here and you market and you promote yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, always come with merchandise to sell. Always come with promo material, be it flyers or push cards, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Always have it with you, you know what I'm saying, you know, with all your information, where they can follow you on your streamers, where they can follow you your social media links and let people know what's going on or whatever. You're always marketing, promoting yourself. We always got to remember marketing. So understanding your market, your lane. I'm an underground hip hop guy. So me going to do shows at Vibes or Shenanigans back in the day, it wasn't going to help me. So what I did, I went to every single show where anybody was doing hip hop. If I knew them or not, if they were local or not, I was trying to get in on the shows. I got an eye infection. That's the reason why this eye's kind of a little lazy today or whatever. But So I went to these shows, and even if I wasn't performing, I was networking. I was talking to every single person I possibly could to let them know who this big fat black nigga is. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do what I got to do or whatever. And it's imperative. You know what I'm saying? This is hard work. You know, I'm from the era of, before social media. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't put no picture up on Instagram and let that be the shit. You know what I'm saying? Me and Donnie was going out, chopping it up with everybody, putting flyers on cars. I'm from under that old school street team era or whatever. And if you want to do fires on cars or whatever, but you still need to be out and about, either performing at these live shows, or either performing at these live shows or promoting and networking at these live shows. Period. You know what I'm saying? That is the best way to do it. It's something different when an artist sees you or a promoter sees you. Like for instance, at Fade to Flow, I had a young dude. You know what I'm saying? My partner introduced him to me. He didn't really say too much. You know what I'm saying? But I watched him throughout the night. He kind of took notes or whatever. I put him on him tonight. I wanted to go scout him out, see what it was about. I liked his stuff. He came up to me. He spoke, slapped dap with him. I said, hey, man, Fade to Flow's coming up. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people who put on shows, we just want to see that you're serious. We want to see that you're serious about what you're trying to do, that you're trying or whatever. And, I'm telling you, there's something different between you hitting somebody up in their DMs and you actually pulling up and slapping dap or whatever. But I'm telling you how this all kind of funnels into the other stuff. Your live shows, your marketing promo, press. So locally, you got to take advantage of the press. So I've been blessed to be in 225, Dig. I want to say I was in the Reveille. I was on the front page of the Advocate. You know what I'm saying? So print press is important. You know what I'm saying? These print newspapers that go around college campuses. I wish I could be in the Digest for my alma mater. I don't think I've ever been in the Digest before. The drummers covered me. So, my music is permeated outside of the scene. It kind of got into these people who are like, hey, what's going on hip-hop wise in Baton Rouge? You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to be a part of that. So take advantage of your press. That means doing a press release. That means actually reaching out. That means calling, whoever the entertainment editor is for Advocate or Dig or 225 and inviting them to your shows. Maybe see if you can set up an interview. Maybe get some of your records reviewed, your projects reviewed or whatever in that newspaper so you can be in these magazines. And these really, really, really help boost your resume. And, a lot of times rappers, a lot of rappers, only rappers know about. You know what I'm saying? So to build a fan base locally in the scene, but to permeate outside the scene locally to people who don't normally come to the hip hop shows, it's important that you reach out to the press. We in the digital era. So now we got a lot of radio shows and podcasts. So, you need to be hitting up, Soul Lab Radio if you're in Baton Rouge, which is the non-commercial radio station. You need to be hitting up KLSU. I ain't gonna lie to you, 94.1, the commercial radio stations, they been sold Baton Rouge out. So don't even trip off that or whatever. But everybody got a podcast, including myself. Everybody has, their own radio shows, hit up, go to KLSU, submit your music to them, see if they'll play it. Find anybody who's playing music, whatever. Anybody's doing a podcast, anybody who has a radio show, be it a talk radio show, you need to get as much press you can, be it print and or digital and or audible, a video, So it's important that you go ahead and you make sure that you're building your buzz organically with real people, And I can say Marcel P. Black is dope all day, but it's something different when Dig Magazine says Marcel P. Black is dope. Or a well-respected podcaster or something that's, underground sounds like, that was very, very important when me getting on the CMJs, years ago, But they co-signed me. That's when I did the interviews with, Substantial and Killer Mike and things of that nature. So you got to get more people involved in what you're trying to accomplish. You can't just do that shit just on social media, spamming or whatever. And I can tell you, as a person who books people from out of town, I'm constantly looking to see what they're doing besides rapping at the local shows. So who else is talking about them? Who else is talking about what they're doing? Who else has interviewed them? Who else is playing their music or whatever? Because I think people are dope and I give people chances, but having your resume is super duper duper important. Having these relationships, and having this reputation of being dope and doing dope stuff. And once you do that, it'll really, really permeate outside of the city because you have more than just, your own word and your own ego saying that you deserve to be on the road like everybody else. Last but not least, I saw the Almighty just do this, and I see a lot of artists doing this. The White Dirt dudes is doing this. Throw your own shows. That's a great, great way to get people interested into you. And what you do is, look, you throw your own shows. You book somebody from out of town. Let me tell you how I did it. I kind of cheated like this. I ain't gonna say I cheated, but I used this as my advantage because I understood a lot about event promotion because for working with Donnie, who was, on the Soul Fusion and the other things. I had a lot of relationships with the venues, or now we in the era of DIY venues. You book a venue, you find people who, you know, might not be that, cheap. I'm sorry, they might not be that expensive to book, or they might be doing it for the love or whatever. Boom. You bring me to New Orleans, I bring you to Baton Rouge. You bring me to Dallas, I bring you to Baton Rouge. You bring me to Jackson, I bring you to Baton Rouge. Find people and start swapping out. And let me tell you something, man. If somebody, and this happened to me a lot, and this is the reason why I get to travel a lot more than most, is because when people come to the city, I show love, I pull up, I do my job, I do good work, I do good business, and they say, hey, man, I want you to come where I'm at. And that's what I've been doing. So, and that's the reason why I can get all these people to come from out of town to Baton Rouge because, and what happens is they come to Baton Rouge and they see what we do. They want to bring us back. There's been a lot of Fade to Floor alumni who's met people from out of town. Jed DeSloth, Ira O'Ree, you know what I'm saying? TK Osaze, John Teller, oh gosh, who am I forgetting? Joe Scott, you know what I'm saying? They meeting people out of town, you know what I'm saying, who come in, they network with them, and able to parlay their relationships to get shows out of town or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying, you throw your own events or you meet these people at these events or whatever, or you bring your people to you, and then when they see what you got going on, a lot of times they repay the favor of nothing else. If y'all start working together, they throw you in on the plugs or whatever. So, it is important that you work with other people, and like I said, it goes back to relationships. It goes back to reputation and resume. If your resume, if all that is fucked because you lazy or you got a bad reputation or just doing bad business, the likelihood of people want to work with you is slim. There's so many people who are super duper duper talented that I know who never rap outside of Baton Rouge. You know what I'm saying? Or they local cities because they don't put forth the effort to get outside their cities because they don't put forth the effort to build a tangible buzz that's going to permeate to where they can matriculate from being a local artist to a regional artist to a national artist, blah, blah, this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're not putting the work in that they're supposed to be doing, or they've ruined their reputation by being an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff is important, man. So once you get to that level, so for me, I think it always takes about 18 months to take your city over. I really think you can do it 18 months. In a year's time, you should be doing at least, I would say, 20 shows locally. I know that's a lot, but 20 shows locally. At every single show, you know what I'm saying, you got as much merch as you could possibly afford. You got much music to sell, as much as you could possibly afford. You know what I'm saying? You got, you know what I'm saying, much promo material and push cards you could possibly afford. And I'm going to tell you, if you're doing 3-4 shows a month, it won't be long before you start going to Lafayette. It won't be start long until you start getting calls for other small shows in other cities. And you got to take advantage of them. Go out there and you do the exact same thing that you do at home. Every single time, you know what I'm saying? And once you go out there, you make those connections, you try to keep it moving. Like, when I first started going to Lafayette, I went to Lafayette almost every other month, if not every month, until my buzz built up. When I first started going to New Orleans, I was trying to go every month. I try to go to Jackson as much as I could. It's still cities right now that's within driving distance that I try to go at least 3 or 4 times a year if I have a fan base there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I was going for free a lot. You know what I'm saying? Until I got to the point to where I can go get me a bag or I can book my own show and make the money off the door like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But all this is a process. You can't expect to just, okay, I want to go do a show in San Francisco tomorrow and then I was going to go. It takes a process. It takes years of time putting in locale. And once you guys sold up, you graduate and you naturally go to the next level. So what I did was, I heard, this is a conversation that me and Killer Mike had, but also I heard Wendy Day say this too. She was like, look at a map and circle everything within 150 to 250 miles away and try to get there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, being in Baton Rouge, you know what I'm saying? I did it more like hours. You can say miles, you can say a distance or hours or time or whatever. So I did everything for 2 to 4 hours. So from Baton Rouge, me going north, you know what I'm saying? I can, if I go on 49, you know what I'm saying, I got Shreveport and I got Dallas, you know what I'm saying. If I go west within 4 hours, I got Lafayette, I got Lake Charles, and I got Houston, you know what I'm saying. If I'm going east within 4 hours, I got New Orleans, Mobile, Pensacola, Yeah, New Orleans, Mobile, and I got Pensacola. If I go up 55 within 4 hours, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Jackson in 2.5 hours, and if I want to go another 3 hours, I'm in Memphis. And so I let that be my circumference for about 3 years straight, you know what I'm saying? And organically, it spilled out to other cities because every city, I would meet a different artist from a different scene doing like that, and we swapped that, and I just started going to other different places or whatever. So it's important, you know, so you do that. And like I said, some of these shows might not pay much. Some of these shows you might have to come back the same night. Some of these shows you might have to pay for your own hotel, your own gas money. But it's important that when you go, you got your merch. You're doing the same thing you're doing at home. You got your merch. You know what I'm saying? You got your promo material, and you are registered in every single show. Excuse me, with the live portion of whatever your PRO is. So if it's ASCAP on stage, if it's CSAC live, it's BMI live, so you can get your publisher royalties from your live performances later on down the line. But I'm telling you, this is how you do it. You hit up whoever you see is popping. Okay, this person is coming into town. If he don't do shows, if he don't book shows in this town, he knows somebody who do. So let me hit him up and see who he know, whatever. And, you know, once you have a reputation of doing good business and being good at what you do, you know what I'm saying, more doors are going to open up for you. And once you go make good, I hate it when I hear, you know what I'm saying, I'm seeing rappers out of town and they ain't taking no merch with them. They ain't taking no promo with them, you know what I'm saying. And another thing, too, Baton Rouge and abroad, a lot of rappers make mistakes. When they come to Baton Rouge or when they come to other cities or whatever, they don't try to come back. Look, while you are there, when you get booked for a show out of town or even a local show, you should already be talking about when's a good time for you to come back. Already putting it on their mind. And what happens is, so boom. So now you done lined up. So let's say over the last, 7 months, you went to 6 different cities. Right, 6 different cities. Boom. Now when your project drop, you got your little mini tour. Now it might not all be in 1 week. It might be a couple weekends, whatever. But now you got at least 6 to 7 different places to go within, let's say, 6 weeks time to go promote your new music. And you come back every single time you go. I know I try not to have the same type of T-shirt twice when I go to different cities. So it gives somebody else more to buy, you know what I'm saying, more to support, more to have, more to shop with or whatever. So I'm bringing something different. I try not to have the exact same set. Of course, certain cities like more songs more than others, but at the same time, some of them might not want to hear the exact same set they saw 3 or 4 months ago. They want to see something different. So I always try to switch it up and have a really, really dope show every single time. Live show is super duper important. Be in shape and be professional when you go out there on the road. And if you don't know where to start, Google is your best friend. I'm going to tell you, I do X amount of shows as a promoter and a facilitator a year. The majority of my shows are booked as a promoter and a facilitator. I'm sorry, as an artist and a facilitator via Facebook Messenger. I will go, if I want to go to like for instance, what I normally do is, let's say I get a show booked in Chicago. I'm online trying to find who else in the area, who's close to Chicago book shows. So I might hit up a person who I know in the area who does shows. I might hit up a person who I might just Google hip hop in the Midwest. I might go to Facebook and put hip hop in Milwaukee, hip hop in Detroit, or whatever. I'll start looking. Just this. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, let's see my fingers. Tap, 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 tap. And I do research. And I find other artists who I've shared resources with, who are like-minded, who are peers in the way we move. And I ask them, who should I talk to? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't suggest, if you're just starting out, I don't suggest you trying to go across the country if you ain't got no buzz out there. Because it's important that you go to places that where you can capitalize on the buzz. So, if I have a record that's hot and I go to Jackson, I can get back to Jackson the next week if I need to, realistically. Like, if I don't really have a buzz, it doesn't make sense for me to try to do tours in New York and other places like that or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? It's good to go places where you can build a buzz organically because that's how you get your money. You know what I'm saying? You start getting the bags get bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? You build your fan base up and add to your resume. Just like you built your resume big enough in your hometown, you let your resume permeate throughout the region. So before I started going national, I had the reputation of rocking out the region. You know what I'm saying? To this day, you know, artists understand that I got, you know what I'm saying, the Southeast on lock, you know what I'm saying, in terms of touring and having a lot of relationships here. And now, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting comfortable moving around touring, you know, national wise. But it's all a process. You can't skip the process. I think a lot of young rappers or whatever, or whoever artists, They mess up by skipping the process. They don't want to engage the process. And all of this takes time. I'm not trying to slow track nobody. I'm just trying to teach people ways that you can do it tangibly. You know what I'm saying? And can't nobody take shit away from you. See, if you earn the shit, can't nobody take it away from you. You know what I'm saying? So I believe in teaching people how to fish and not feeding them. You know what I'm saying? This is somewhat connected, but it's not. But let me tell you this: Atlanta won't save you. I always hear people say, "Oh man, if I move to Baton Rouge ain't fucking with me, bro. They not ready for what I got here." You know what I'm saying? If I was in such and such, if I was in Atlanta, nigga, it's not gonna save you. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be blunt as fuck. If ain't nobody fucking with you where you live at, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you in Atlanta. If you are born and raised in a particular place and don't nobody fuck with you, it's your fault. It's your music's fault. It's your lack of hustle. Your live show is whack. You probably rap over vocals. Your beats is whack. Your mix and master is whack. If nobody fuck with you in your hometown where you were born and raised, where you have family, where you have classmates, where you have parents, nigga, it's your fault. Nobody believes in you locally. So that means, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody about to believe in you in the mecca of fucking music. Like, it's not going to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta's not going to save you at all. People see these this is a misconception that all Atlanta artists are working together. First and foremost, you got to look at how all this money is tied up. Every artist that you see working together, all of them are connected to different labels or different Dope Boys or Gucci Mane. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow, you know what I'm saying? So, or they know each other and they have relationships. So they're literally doing all the shit that you niggas is not doing in Baton Rouge. Y'all stay in your house. Y'all don't do no type of grinding. Y'all don't do nothing with each other. And you have to understand, these people working together are millionaires or they're fronted by millionaires. They're not just independent underground rappers. Because let me tell you, the majority of Atlanta rappers, and let me tell you, let me make this real clear. I love Atlanta. I used to live in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I love their music. I love Dudgy Family. I love Goody Mob. I love the new shit with Jid and Earth Gang, Spillage Village. I love Atlanta hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I love Georgia hip hop. I love Phil Mob. You already know how I feel about Killer Mike. That's my big dog. But let me tell you something. Atlanta is Babylon when it comes to the music industry. It is 100% Babylon. The shit needs to be burned down. You understand what I'm saying? It's so corrupted with pay-to-play shit. Like, you know, it's the industry is everything that's wrong with the music industry and how exploitative it is of people, artists, and the culture. It's there in Atlanta. So if you're not popping in Baton Rouge or wherever you live at, Oklahoma City, if you in goddamn Indianapolis, Minnesota, you moving to Atlanta with no money, no budget, no buzz, nobody really fucking with you, is not going to change. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it's important to do. I can go get a bag in Atlanta now because of what I've done in Baton Rouge. The first show I ever did in Atlanta was the A3C Festival. You know what I'm saying? Because of what I did in Baton Rouge. Because people who, I can go. I'm doing the Culture Over Everything show in, you know what I'm saying, Atlanta on April the 4th because of the things that I did in Baton Rouge. So it's super duper fucking important that you build where you are and let that permeate out. Now, if you get you a buzz and you popping, you get you some money, you got a plan, you got some connections. If you want to move to Atlanta, then that's on your body. But don't think that, you know, your city is holding you back. So moving to Atlanta is going to be the promised land. I know so many people who left Baton Rouge or Oklahoma City or wherever, moving to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, and they came their ass right back because wasn't nothing popping for them or whatever. Or they out there and now they doing some other shit because it's not that simple. You know what I'm saying? Period. So you got to put the work in wherever you are. And let me tell you something. Just because you start local don't mean you got to stay local. That's not the whole thing. I don't plan to be in a Baton Rouge all my life. I'm just here because my family is. But, I'm from Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? My adult life is all pretty much been spent in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I represent 2 different cities, 2 different states. But let me tell you something. As it pertains to hip-hop, I belong to the culture. I belong to the world. My OG Kamikaze told me, I'm sorry, my bad, wrong OG. My OG Cesar Comanche told me, shout out to Kamikaze. And let me tell you something. When I first started touring, he was the person who told me how to tour correctly. That's why he was on my brain. I meant to bring that up. And I'll bring it up another time. But he told me what I need to do when I first started hitting the road and traveling and start doing stuff. He gave me like a 10-point step on how to do this shit. So that's why Kamikaze is on my brain. Shout out to Kamikaze. Much love and success to everything y'all doing at Hourglass with Silas and the whole camp and Dev Mac and everybody else. But the OG Cesar Comanche told me, you live where you sleep at, but you rap where your fans are. So you need to rap where your fans are locally. You want to build that fan base and let them speak for you loud enough for you to go to the next city, the next state, the next region. You know what I'm saying? Once you get out your that region, you go to the next city, you build that fan base up or whatever. So You know what I mean? If you don't have any fans in this particular city, you don't need to be fucking trying to go there. Plain and simple. If you're not trying to build fans, you're wasting your time. You understand what I'm saying? But it all begins at home. Atlanta will not save you. I know people say Atlanta's Wakanda. We hear what Killer Mike says, but let me tell you something. If you're not popping in your hometown, you're not about to go to Atlanta. Ain't no fucking vibranium gonna make you pop where you not. You know what I'm saying? Wakanda forever. But look, I'm almost at 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to wrap this up, man. I'm going to tell you what I got going on. I'm going to drop my EP in probably about a month, maybe. I still ain't said the name of it. Still working on some other stuff, but it's definitely coming. March 24th. I'm sorry. April 20th. Y'all got to excuse me. So I'm late. I'm still jet lagged. February 24th, you know what I'm saying, at Uppercuts Barbershop, you know what I'm saying. We bringing Fade to Flow Sundays back, you know what I'm saying. Well, it's back now, for sure. And it's going to be super duper dope, you know what I'm saying. I got Slankster Hughes and Wine and Willie representing New Orleans and Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? I got John Anthony. I got Jepte. Hope I'm saying this right. Jepte. He's from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? I got Mr. Fluid and Cool Kid Ridge coming from Jackson, Mississippi. And locally I got Khalil Vegas. You know what I'm saying? That's February 24th at Uppercuts, 7 to 11. Free food. You know what I'm saying? BYOB. You know what I'm saying? No cover. You already know what that is. My next Culture Over Everything is March 23rd at formerly known as 524 Studios. Now it's called Southside Art Center. You know what I'm saying? I got myself. I got the homeboy Rick Riddles coming from New Jersey. I got Dollar Black coming from Jackson. And I got, you know what I'm saying, the homeboy TKO Saze opening the show up with Soul Lab Beyond the Ones and Twos. I got a whole lot going on in March, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to talk about that, you know, as it comes or whatever. But thank you. You already know. Please do me a favor, man. Y'all go to MarcelPBlack.com. Y'all check this podcast out or whatever. Check out all the rest of the other podcasts. Hit the merch table. Go buy your t-shirt or a CD. Go stream something. Go download something. You know what I'm saying? You can catch me on my tour dates. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the podcast is that Black Thoughts Radio. I got the Marcel P. Black rap recaps. I'm giving like an in-depth look, blogging, writing about all my experiences on the road. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. You know what I'm saying? You go to MarcelPBlack.com, MarcelPBlack.bandcamp.com to get the music and the merchandise. At Marcel P. Black on all social media, of course. You know, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. YouTube.com/Maroon Music 1 to watch all my music videos, including, you know what I'm saying, this beautiful, you know what I'm saying, raggedy podcast I got going on right now, Black Thoughts Radio. And if you want to stream the podcast, go to Mixcloud.com/Black Thoughts Radio. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. I apologize. I still got to work on getting better, but I still want to give y'all the content. Yeah, holla at me. Ala Mahabe. Freedom.